Welcome to SmashingBloke.com. Here at SmashingBloke, we're in love with cryptocurrency and all of that good stuff. So what's going on today? 19th of September 2018. Wow, the markets are green. That's good. It looks like Bitcoin has held its $6,200 support level, which is quite positive, but that support level keeps on getting battered, but so far, so good. Today, SmashingBloke wants to talk to you about Kyber Network. Kyber Network is a decentralized exchange that allows for the transfer and exchange of digital assets and cryptocurrencies in a trustless manner. But before I do that, let's take a quick look at the market and see exactly where we are at this point in time. Okay, 19th of September 2018, time check, 11:45 a.m. Market cap currently selling at $198 billion with a 24-hour trade volume of $12 billion. Bitcoin is currently listed at $6,348 with a market dominance of 55.2%. Best performer in the last 24 hours has been XRP, up 15.77% and currently trading at 0.32 cents. XRP, by the way, had an all-time high of $3.84 in January 2018. Okay, let's talk about Kyber Network. So why Kyber Network? Well, centralized and decentralized exchanges both have flaws, they both have challenges. Centralized exchanges can sometimes be slow, sometimes it can take a few days for your cash to actually come through. They also are sometimes challenged by security vulnerabilities. Decentralized exchanges, on the other hand, sometimes don't have the liquidity to support active trading. They both have challenges. So how Kyber Network? Well, Kyber Network is based on the Ethereum platform. So the KNC token is an ERC20 token. The Kyber Network has differing roles. The first one to take into account is the user. The user could be an individual, a merchant, or a smart contract, and they use the Kyber Network to send and receive tokens. I think a good example of this is let's take Dave. Dave and Alice go out and have lunch. Dave pays for lunch. After lunch, Alice wants to give Dave back half of the bill, but Dave only wants Ethereum and Alice has Litecoin. So what Alice does is she goes into the Kyber Network and she makes a transaction and she sends Litecoin to Dave, but what Dave gets is Ethereum, if that makes sense. The Kyber Network also has reserve entities. Reserve entities can be broken down as follows. We have the Kyber Network reserve. We have public reserves. Public reserves are ones where the public is able to contribute. And we have private reserves where the reserve comes from a single individual, a single entity. Reserve contributors get profits from the reserve entity that they have invested in. This is limited to public reserve. Reserve managers manage their reserve, be it public or private. They also set conversion rates and update the Kyber Network with this information. The Kyber Network operator lists and delists reserve entities. They also add and remove exchange pairs for digital assets. Lots of actors there. Let's see if I can make it a bit simpler for you. Okay, so the user sends and receives tokens via the Kyber Network. Okay, the reserve contributor contributes to reserve entities. These reserve entities could be Kyber Network reserve, public entity reserve, or private entity reserves. The motivation for contributing to this reserve is the profits you get from the reserve entity that you have invested in. The reserve manager sets the conversion rate of the digital assets in that reserve. and then the Kyber network operator changes the rates and gets rid of the reserve manager if the reserve manager becomes a bad actor. Does that make it easier? Okay. The Kyber network does not hold any of the funds held in its reserve entities. These funds are stored in smart contracts. These smart contracts also manage the exchange rate and decide on what the best exchange rate is for the user. The Kyber network does not maintain a global order book, but maintains a reserve. So who's working on this? Let's take a look. Well, pretty hardcore Ethereum team. This is a very hardcore team that has worked on the Ethereum platform. They have a lot of smart contract knowledge going on here. This is a very, very strong Ethereum blockchain team. Okay, so when do we see all this good stuff? Well, the mainnet's live, as you can see. We also know that Kyber Go, which will allow you to issue tokens to stakeholders, is going live at some point in Q3. So what does SmashingBloke think about Kyber Network? I love Kyber Network. Love the proposition. Love the fact that it's trustless. Love the fact that it's instant. I just love Kyber Network. I think it's a bit like atomic swaps with knobs on. SmashingBloke out. If you like what SmashingBloke does, please give us some likes and subscribe. SmashingBloke, peace.